Hi guys, what we're going to do today is some pre-prepping and some pre-planning of meals ahead of time. Now this particular habit is a good one to have. What you can do is do some of the work ahead of time for particular meals that you're going to have throughout the week. That way, when it comes to the day of the actual meal, say dinner for the entire family, you're not doing the entire meal from start to finish. If you take the weekend, a Saturday or a Sunday, particularly for me, it's Sunday, and I prepare certain components of the meals that I'm going to have maybe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the coming week. It's a good idea to do some of that ahead of time, because by the time the day actually comes and you're coming home from work, sometimes you're over it and you really don't want to be bothered at all, and that's what leads to go getting takeout. So what I'm going to do is give you some ideas. Maybe through the video you'll get other ideas of what you're already doing currently, and you can, help that out a little bit. It definitely is going to help you save some money, and that's always a good thing. Okay, everybody, what we're going to do is start our pre-prepping for Taco Tuesday. So you guys have Taco Tuesday in your house? A lot of families do. So this is a good way to just get ahead of the game and cook your meat maybe on Sunday. And I'm just doing some ground turkey. I already have this recipe and video up on my channel. So I'm just taking you through real quick of just preparing the meat ahead of time. And right here, I'm just adding a can of Mexican style tomato sauce, El Pato sauce. I love it. Just add that in and stir it. Gives it a nice flavor and makes your meat really moist. And then it's all done. Only takes a few minutes. Now, I also prepare the toppings ahead of time. So I have my onions, tomatoes, cheese, and lettuce. And right under there, I have a paper towel to absorb any of the water or liquid from the lettuce, so it'll drain so your lettuce is not swimming in water. I'm just going to take my Tupperware, of course, and seal it on up. And these pieces are particularly made for the refrigerator and the microwave. So right there on the top is that vent, so you can just throw that whole container into the microwave and heat all of the meat up on Taco Tuesday, and you're all set. Alright, let me walk you guys through how I prepare a pot of red beans in the crock pot with some smoked turkey wings during the week. So you need to get your bag of red beans and go through them first. Go through them and make sure there are no pebbles or little dirt bombs in there, because beans in the bag are sometimes dirty. Very much so. So you need to go through there and make sure you don't have any of that, because you don't want that in your pot. So here is the insert of the crock pot, and I have all my veggies, my onions, bell peppers, bay leaves, and seasonings in there. And then I'm just going to add my clean red beans that I've already soaked and gone through thoroughly. And then I'm just going to add my smoked turkey wing, and I'm going to put the lid onto the insert, and it's going in the refrigerator. I'm not going to add the liquid. This is the night before. Okay, so I'm just going to put that whole thing in the refrigerator. Now, the next morning when I get up, I'm just going to add the required liquid, whether it's water or chicken stock, and then I'm going to place the insert into the crock pot just before I go to work, turn it on low, and when I get home, my beans are done. Okay, we're moving on to herbs, fish, and storage. Now, this is my favorite herbal quad, is what I like to call it. It's thyme, basil, Italian parsley, and rosemary, and I'll use it on everything. But let me tell you something about fresh herbs. When a recipe calls for fresh herbs, you can use dried instead. However, you do need to remember to halve the amount, meaning if a recipe calls for 2 tablespoons and fresh, you use 1 tablespoon of dried. Okay, so we got the herb talk out of the way. So this is a piece of ling. This is a fillet of ling. I was craving some halibut, but halibut is not in season right now, so the butcher told me to give this a try. The ling is a cousin or a sibling to the codfish. So I decided to go ahead and give it a try. I had no idea how this was going to turn out on camera, and this was just a test between all of us, okay? So what I did was I used a butter compound, and I put some Grand Diamond seasoning on there. Of course, you can get that at gdseasoning.com. And then on the other 2 pieces, I used just some lemon pepper. And I figured if I was going to eat these over the next couple of days, I'd want to change up the flavor a little bit. And then what I did was I packed that herbal quad right on the top, just like that. So while one ling fillet is in the oven cooking, I decided to take the other one and show you guys how I prepare it for freezing. Now, I have a vacuum sealer, but this is a good practice for those of you who don't have one. Just take some parchment paper and cover each piece, and then you're going to wrap it in saran. But before you wrap it in saran wrap, label it and date it so you know what it is. Now, this should hold the fish for about a month or so, and that way I'll have it ready for me. Now, here's a finished example of my cheeses. I buy them at Costco, and I cut them into pieces that I'm going to use as I pull them out. So that's some brie, some pepper jack. Then I also have a piece of manchego cheese in there. I probably got it from Trader Joe's. This method keeps my cheeses nice for about 4 or 5 months. The ling is out of the oven, and yes, it is definitely related to the codfish. It is delicious, and yes, I will be probably buying it again, but this is also a test recipe. You're going to see this later. Alright, let's talk about some veggie side dishes that you can do ahead of time. I'm getting ready to blanch some asparagus. Okay, so right now let's just take the asparagus and chop off the ends that are not so tender. And these are pencil asparagus, so you don't have to cut off too much. And we're going to take them and put them into the boiling salted water, and we're only going to leave these in here for about 20 to 30 seconds. This is what blanching is. Blanching helps lock the color into vegetables and makes them really bright and beautiful. Okay, so once they're done and their color is nice and green, I'm going to take them out and we're going to shock them in ice water, and that stops the cooking process and locks the color in. Now once we got them in the ice water, you don't want them to hang out in there too long either, because they can get soggy. So you only want to leave them in there about 30 seconds to a minute. Then take them out, drain them on a paper towel, and now you have beautiful asparagus that you can grill, saute, put in other recipes, eat with a dip just like you would carrot sticks as a snack. You have them, anything you want to do with them, you could do with them. You see what I was doing, right? Yeah, they're good to eat just like that. After you've prepared them, go ahead and put them in an airtight container and pop them in the fridge. Okay, so here's my last suggestion for a pre-prep component of a meal, just in case you want to stop off and get a rotisserie chicken and you already have your veggies done. These are some roasted mixed vegetables. I have zucchini, summer squash, a red bell pepper, and an orange bell pepper, along with a red onion. All you have to do is chop those up in 1-inch pieces, then put them on a sheet pan lined with foil and parchment paper. I'm going to put about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, lots of garlic, which can be powdered or granulated, and I'm adding some smoked paprika, and then of course I'm going to hit it with some Grand Diamond seasoning. Now when I'm preparing certain vegetables for myself or certain things, I skip the salt sometimes, so I just go with the GDS because that already has a little bit of salt in there. But feel free to put some kosher salt or any type of salt you like. You can also use the lemon pepper if you have it. You can go with the lemon pepper, garlic, and paprika. Great combo. So I had some of the herbal quad left, so I just added those to the vegetables. It really brightens them up. We're going to cook them at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. And the reason why we're only cooking them for 15 minutes is because you don't want to cook them to death the first time. Remember, these are going to be a reheat item for the next day or so. So just cook them to 15 minutes. They're still firm, they hold their shape, and they're just tender enough. Okay, after they've cooled down, go ahead and put them in a nice airtight bowl and put them in the fridge. So I ended up making a taco salad with some flaxseed tortilla chips. I had my red beans and rice with my turkey wings. And then that ling fish turned out really good with that herb crust. And then I also made a roasted vegetable side dish to go with any type of entree that you want to prepare during the week. Well, I hope I've given you guys some great ideas on how to prepare some of your menu items in advance. I want to thank you guys for joining me. You know I appreciate it when you spend time with me. Don't forget, these recipes and others can be found at gdseasoning.com, and I'll see you next time.